Hello guys, this is Javelin from English Tutor Hub and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a lesson about the verb could. We are gonna look at the form, use, and meaning. So could is in fact a modal verb, and here is the pronunciation: could. So we don't hear the L. In this lesson, you will learn the form of could, and also you will learn the many different uses and meanings. To express possibility, to make suggestions, to ask for permission, indirect speech, reported speech, to express ability in the past, to describe sensations in the past, to describe mental processes in the past. So let's look into this in detail. First of all, we will look at the form. Could in the affirmative form. So it is the subject plus the verb could, and then the base form of the verb. So, I could cook, you could cook, he could cook, she could cook, it could cook, we could cook, you could cook, they could cook. Alright, so only the subject that changes. Now could in the negative form. So we have the full form, which is subject plus could not plus base form. I could not cook. You could not cook. He could not cook. She could not cook. It could not cook. We could not cook. You could not cook. They could not cook. And also, we have the contracted form. And we have the subject, and now could not becomes couldn't. So you have the N apostrophe T followed by the base form. So this is the only part that changes. So I couldn't cook, you couldn't cook, he couldn't cook, she couldn't cook, it couldn't cook, we couldn't cook, you couldn't cook, they couldn't cook. Alright? And finally, could in the question form. So we now reverse the order. We have could, then the subject, and then the base form, and while we were writing it, we'll write the question mark at the end of the sentence or question. So, could I cook? Could you cook? Could he cook? Could she cook? Could it cook? Could we cook? Could you cook? Could they cook? Alright, so that's the form. And now let's look at the use and meanings. First of all, to express possibility. So we use could to express possibility in the present and future. So we have to compare present and future. It's blue. It could be blue. I am certain that it is blue. It's a fact. I'm not certain that it is blue. And now for the future. The storm will get worse. The storm could get worse. I'm certain that the storm will get worse. I'm not certain that the storm will get worse. And we can also use could to express possibility in the past. And the form is slightly different here. This time we add have. This time we add have, and it's followed by the past participle and not the base form. So it's could have plus past participle form to talk about possibility in the past. So examples: I could have stayed in the park the whole day, but I chose to go to the seminar. I could have been a lawyer if I didn't study computer science. I could have bought an iPhone, but I decided to save my money. And I want to give you more information about this structure to express possibility. Could have. So could have plus past participle in the following situations. Okay? So we often use could have plus past participle in the following situations to express regret. So regret is when we think about something we have done in the past or we have not done in the past and we are sad. For example, I could have been a professional tennis player. So he had the possibility of dreaming to be a professional tennis player in the past, but it didn't happen, so he regret. So he regret it. So this is always the first person I. So this number 2, I could have been on tour. And this is the past participle of the verb to be, been. I could have been on tour. So guys, this is quite useful. Alright? And also to criticize someone if they did not do something. So this time we are gonna use oftentimes. We're gonna use often time. We use the second person you. Yes, oftentimes we use the second person you. Example here, you could have cleaned the house instead of playing games. Why did you drive the car? You could have taken a taxi. Alright? Then we move on to number 2, could, to make a suggestion. So we use could to make a suggestion or proposal. We suggest a person, a friend, or someone else to do something, a polite way, or it is a polite way of doing it. Example: I need to buy some books, but I don't have enough money. Look at the picture. Then you could talk to your mother and ask her to give you some money. Okay, here we have a situation. Your friend cannot reach Jane by cell phone, so you suggest you could try her home number. So number 3, could, to ask for permission. So we use could to ask for permission or to request for something. Could followed by the subject, could followed by the subject, and question mark at the end. Example here: could I use your laptop? Could I borrow your car? Could you tell me how to get to the bus station, please? Could you help me finish my project in science? Could you say thanks to your mom for me? Yes. And let's move on to number 4, which is indirect speech or a reported speech. So, when we use indirect speech, we use could after past reporting verbs can was used in direct speech. So direct speech: Anne said we can visit her on Saturday. Indirect speech: Anne said that we could visit her on Saturday. Another example: direct: he said I can swim. Indirect: he said that he could swim. And number 5, to express ability. To express ability, we use could to express ability in the past. Example: when Helen was 5 years old, she could play the piano for 3 hours. Tom could read before he started school. She could paint when she was 3 years old. And number 6, to describe sensations in the past. We use could with verbs in the senses to describe sensations in the past. So we have here could, also sensation of the past, and it's also the verbs of the senses. So we have here could plus smell, taste, see, hear, and touch. So with these verbs, smell, taste, see, hear, touch, with these verbs, we describe them in the past. We often put could before them. So you will say could smell, could taste, could see, could hear, could touch. And we have the examples here. My neighbors were fighting. I could hear it. Jerry puts too much salt on the soup. I could taste it. John drinks alcohol. I could smell it. So guys, could followed by the verbs of senses. And it's also similar with mental processes in the past. So we use could with verbs of mental processes to describe mental processes in the past. And the verbs are things like could, we have here, could plus believe, remember, think, understand. So for examples, she walked slowly. I could understand her. Mary broke the glass. She could think I was mad. I wanted to write my friend, but I couldn't remember her address. We don't really say that in English. Again, guys. So again, don't forget that this is in the past. This is better than I didn't remember her address. We don't really say that in English, but I didn't here. But I did here in this example, I wanted to write my friend, but I couldn't remember her address. So again, guys, don't forget this is in the past, and this is better to say I couldn't remember her address. We don't really say I didn't remember her number or I didn't remember her address. It's better to say I couldn't remember her address. Alright? So there we are, and that's the end of this lesson. Hope you like it and learn something new. Don't forget to subscribe, share, leave your comments, and love to hear from you. This is Javelin at English Tutor Hub. See you soon. Thank you for watching.